Okay, so we're continuing the video here looking at the quadratic with the surface area of different sized cubes. Now the question is, how do we help students find the function that defines this polynomial right here? What can we do with GeoGebra? Okay, well, if I go to View and click Input Bar and Show, right, now we have our input bar. That's going to be helpful here because what we can do is in the graphics view we can create two sliders. So let's create our first slider, call it A, and we'll have this slider go, let's say, from 0 to 10 with increments of 1. And we want this slider, so click slider, to be vertical. And we click apply. I'm going to move the slider down though, so I right click, unclick fix object, and then click the move tool to move this slider down. Although I'm having trouble with that. Click the move tool and drag this under our view. Okay, and then with our next slider, let's leave it as B. Let's have that go from, let's say, 0 to 10 as well, and with increments of 1. Oops, and I forgot to make it in a vertical bar, so I'll right click it and object properties. Here I click vertical and now it looks how I want it to. I'm going to unclick fixed so I can move it, put it over here. And now in the input bar I can enter in a function, a general one. F of x equals a space times x to the b. And there's our function right there. I would right click it though, and I want to go to my object properties, so I'll go to object properties. Here I want to show the label for the name and value so students can see what's happening. There's our function. And what's nice is what they can do essentially is just play with the values of a and b, right, to see what's happening here. And we can narrow the range a little bit too if we want to encourage them and help them out to find the value of the function. And there it is. Right? Just by moving these around, they can play with it to understand, hopefully understand that the function here is 6 times x squared. And we can enter in dynamic text to also fit what's happening here. Maybe we would say f of x, right, equals, click OK, and then another text box. Here I'm going to click, well, I want to use this value right here, a, so I click a, right, because it's a times what? Well, times x to the b. That's how we set it up. So I'll enter in another text box for multiplication, go to symbols, multiply. So it's the first value here, a times, although I probably shouldn't use times if I'm using x. Sorry about that. Let me fix that. Let me use the star. Times x, right, which we're going to leave as x, to the b power. So we're going to raise that. Although I can do that right here, sorry. So here in this format, I go to latex formula. I'm going to delete that. There's lots of options here. I want to do x to the a, except we're not going to the a power. We're going to here is b. So we click on b. Oops. We click on our b value. And now it'll show you x to whatever b value you choose. And this is just something to add on to it. But essentially what we're doing is inserting dynamic text. So as students change the function, they'll see it here with the graph, but they'll also see it up here. And that might be really nice because you can, let's say you want to change the size of this text right here. Right? So we go to object properties, and for the text we can make all of the text larger. Right? For example, we can have that. Of course, we want to move stuff around. And we can also color code here, which of course is helpful. For example, we might want the a values to be in green. So we click this over here, object properties, color, pick a nice green that we like. And then to match the slider to that, there's a tool for that. If we scroll through, we see copy visual style over here. Click this, and then click the slider. And now it might help students out a little bit that this green slider right here controls this green value. Although maybe I wouldn't choose green because you can't see the text. But the idea is that you can choose a color to match here to help them understand how these values connect to the equation and the function and what it's doing. Then there's all types of questions we can ask about it. Alright, hope this helped.